All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television show in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing Nightmare in Pink. This is book number 2 in the Travis McGee mystery series by John D. MacDonald. Came out in 1964, and let's start talking about it. Let's do the cover first, because you know I review the covers because I love graphic design and cover illustration. So it's got a good cover. It's got like this nice little martini glass, whatever going on in here. The thing, the spine, the pink thing. But the thing that I like most about it, and I've noticed, like, I reviewed book number 1 in the series last month, and that was The Deep Blue Goodbye. But if you look, the entire series, all 23 books in the series, or so it looks like on Amazon, you can buy them, and they all have the same cover design. All the spines are going to match. So I'm probably going to buy the rest of the set later this month and have all 20 of them. It's going to look like a pretty dope set of books to have, just based on the publisher reissuing them all with cool covers that all match. Great job. Anyway, Travis McGee. He's just sort of like 1964. We're going to talk about a little bit about books written a long time ago. Well, 64, that was like 50 some odd years ago. Things were different, folks. Society was different back then. And if you've ever watched Mad Men or anything, or read a book from that era, you know things were different. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Travis McGee, in book number 1, The Deep Blue Goodbye, bada boom, he lived on the Busted Flush. That was the name of his boat, and it was parked in the water offshore of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and that's where he lived. He's just sort of a dude that lives in a boat, and he investigates weird things around Florida. Well, in this book, book number 2, he'd like to be in Florida. He would rather be in Florida on his boat, but he has gone off to New York City on a mission, sort of a quest for his old army buddy. Now, his old army buddy needs a favor. His kid's sister is sort of this damsel in distress who's stuck in New York City, and she's got a problem. And her problem is her fiancé was murdered in a mugging gone wrong. But everybody believes that this was more than just a mugging gone wrong. It might have been a planned out hit from some assassins. We don't know what. We don't know why he's dead. He's dead. Now Nina, this girl, is in trouble, and Travis McGee has to go save her, figure out what's going on, all of that. When they first meet in New York City, they don't like each other. I don't know why they even continued a conversation on with each other at all. She don't like him. Travis don't like her. In fact, and this is where it gets dated and weird, and I'm just like, oh my God, you can't put that stuff in a book or movie nowadays. But he literally, she's kind of getting a little mouthy, getting a little lippy, and he slaps the out of her. I'm just like, what just happened? You can't do that. And she took it, and she's just like it was normal. And he did it like it was normal. And I'm like, and he just treats it like a casual, well, that's the way you get women to shut their mouth. And I'm like, oh my God. Holy shit. And it reminded me of when I was watching The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart. And he did the same thing to he just beats a girl, and she's like, don't you dare beat me like that. And he's like, you'll take it and you'll like it. And they fell in love. Oh God, my brain hurts. What was the world like just 50 years ago? It was utter chaos, everybody. I don't know why, I'm not. I mean, I'm offended, but also I almost read it with almost like this gleeful, like watching a train wreck happen and you can't stop watching. It's. I don't know if it's some sort of a moral deficiency in me that I'm just like every time I come across a movie or an old book or something like in Mad Men where this is just happening, where this complete misogynistic abuse of women is going on, and I'm just like, I I feel like I feel like the 50s and 60s were another, like, I think we there was like a bizarro universe of, like, I don't know, anyway, it's craziness, absolute craziness, and both characters treated it as if that's just the way people behave. I'm like, okay, whatever, uh a little sus, but let's move on. The writing's good, uh the story's interesting. I don't like either one of these characters. I don't like him for hitting women, and I don't like her for just getting hit and not giving a. And of course, of course, in this type of a book, the man and there's gonna be a love affair here, even though it started out real shitty. But I guess to them it wasn't starting out. I mean, maybe that's the way relationships used to just start out, as abuse. I don't know. My God. Anyway, I was like dumbfounded. You can tell I'm like flabbergasted. Anyway, what happens is he goes off to. He kind of gets a little bit of karma though for this. I mean, he gets kidnapped. I mean, Travis McGee gets kidnapped at the beginning of this book, and he gets tossed into sort of a mental institution. Like he's trying to figure out who murdered this guy and this mugging gone wrong, and he kind of barks up the wrong tree, and some people that are tougher and badder ass than him sort of like they take him and they put him in a mental institution and they shoot him full of drugs, and he sort of gets his karma, I guess, but he has to kind of I mean, that's a lot of trouble for Travis McGee, you know. I mean, all of that. But he has to, of course, sort of work his way. The part of the book, the whole plot of the book is him working his way out of that situation, which he deserved to be in, quite honestly. The thing is John D. MacDonald writes a gripping yarn and a terrible with terribly good prose, and it's just I'm just fascinated to see how much more of this just this, I don't know how to pronounce it, just like weird ass fuckery just keeps going on in this series, because I just like, what? It was kind of like, you could tell the dude was a misogynist in the, I mean the guy was like, it's like watching Andrew Tate solve mysteries. I mean, that's pretty much what it's like. Um, uh, but that's incredibly entertaining. Incredibly entertaining. I don't know what else to say. But I liked the book despite its like major. But I love the show Mad Men too, and they do this kind of crap too. It's like, I don't know. I think it's me. It's a me problem. It's like a me. I'm like watching this happen with like part of me is being repulsed by it, but another part of me is being like fascinated that it's playing out in front of me. Anyway, I'm gonna get the rest of the series. Like I said, this is like a train wreck. Like, it's like a brilliantly orchestrated, wonderfully written, plotted out train wreck with a lot of stuff in it that I am horrified by. Horror novels don't horrify me. This, in a way, does. I mean, just as a normal dude. I mean, I'm not trying to be woke or anything. I mean, you know that I'm not woke. But this makes me wonder if I should be. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that.